It's so wonderful to see all of you here tonight. We appreciate it. Let's open the Monday, December 19th, 2022 City Council. And first of all, basement for tornado and outside with this exit in case there would be a fire. I'd like to remind everybody that the meetings are being videotaped, and it's important that everyone speak directly into a microphone when speaking. Roll call, Jenny?
Alderman Hazel.
Here.
Alderman Whitaker.
Here.
Alderwoman Duco.
Here.
Alderwoman Harris.
Here.
Alderman Randall.
Here.
Alderman Ferguson.
Here.
Alderman Anthony.
Here.
Alderman Ovian.
Here.
Alderman Dentelman.
Here.
Alderwoman Schaefer. Alderwoman Steele.
Here.
Alderman Rothweiler.
Here.
Alderman Elmore.
Here.
Alderman Weigant.
Here.
Alderwoman Sullivan.
Here.
Alderwoman Ostoff.
Here.
All are present, Mayor.
Okay, roll call, department heads?
City Treasurer Bierman.
Present.
City Attorney Horner.
Present.
Police Chief Matt Icekant. Fire Chief Lloyd Stinson. Finance Director Jamie Matrit. Director of Public Works Jason Poole. Director of Wastewater Randy Smith. Director of Library Leander Spearman. Assistant Director of IT Ty Buckner. City Engineer Sal Elcott. Director of Health, Housing, Building Scott Tyler. Director of Economic Development, Planning, Zoning Cliff Cross. Director of Human Resources Bill Clay. Director of Communications and PR Kathy Kaiser.
Kathy is here, but she's upstairs finishing a report that has to be done by the morning. Okay. Thank you. Let's stand for the pledge. Okay, no public hearing, but public participation, 2 to 3 minutes per person. Do we have anyone here tonight for public participation? Yes. Would you like to come forward?
My name is Cindy
Cindy.
McDonald. I am a citizen of Belleville all of my life. I live out in the community next to the Executive Inn. I am appalled that I have worked on that thing for 7 years, up and down. I am the president of the Women's Republican Association. We need something done with this place. It stinks. You sent your firemen in, and they did not even know that there was a notice on that for asbestos. They went in there and fought a fire. They are cooking meth in there. Now, you may not think I don't know what I'm talking about. I did 20 years in corrections, worked. I was trained by the chief who trains all of the policemen in Springfield. I know what meth is. I know what meth smells. They're back there. The other day, I went in, there was a big hole cut in the front. They're dragging stuff out of there. Where are they putting that stuff? It's got asbestos in it. Is it in a garage next to you or next to me? We have got to take this place down. Not 2 years from now. We got to do it now.
Ma'am.
Before somebody.
Actually, it is on the agenda for this tonight.
I've heard that for 7
Oh, wait,
years.
no.
And I heard it from you.
Yes,
You
it-
came out and made a film after I
Yes,
contacted
I
them.
did, and ma'am, if you let me finish, we actually have been working on this for many, many months since I've been in here, and you will be surprised that it will be voted on tonight, and the work will start possibly by the end of this week. So I thank you for bringing it to our
I
attention.
would appreciate it being done instead of put off.
It's not going to be put off. We want it just as bad as you.
We will see.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Okay, anyone else? Yes. Good.
My name's Brad Van Hoos, if you don't know me. I wanted to thank you for the wonderful job you did appointing a very good police chief. So all of you deserve our credit. If I have anything to be critical of, I would like to see the police department. It's really something, nothing that didn't just start, but I'd like to see a little bit more compliance to the Freedom of Information Act compliance. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. very best of luck to everybody here.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, hearing from no one else, we will proceed. Okay, presentation, recognitions, and appointments.
Oh, none, sorry.
We have none of those tonight. Approval of minutes. I need a motion to approve the city council and executive session minutes of December 5th, 2022. Special council and executive session minutes of December 15th, 2022, and executive session minutes of November 21st, 2022.
Steele, so moved.
Ferguson.
Second.
Okay? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, now claims, payroll, and disbursements. I need a motion to approve claims and disbursements in the amount of $3,845,269.55 and payroll in the amount of $900,545.37.
Schaefer, so moved.
Thank you.
Ferguson.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Whitaker?
Aye.
Oh, I apologize, I'm sorry. That should be Hazel.
Aye.
Thank you. Whitaker?
Aye.
Duco?
Aye.
Harris? Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian?
Aye.
Dintelman? Schaefer?
Aye.
Steele? Rothweiler? Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan?
Aye.
Osthoff? Motion carries, Mayor.
Thank you very much. No reports this evening, so oral reports from standing committees, special committees, and any other oral reports from the elected officials or staff. So we want to start with a motion from finance with Alderman Whitaker.
Any objections to them as a group? Okay, 11A1, motion to approve 2022 tax levy. 11A2, motion to approve waiving the formal bidding procedures and utilizing the state of Illinois contract to purchase a new 2023 Ford F-350 pickup truck from Morrow Brothers Ford in the amount of $54,328 for the Public Works Department. 11A3, motion to approve waiving formal bidding procedures and utilizing the state of Illinois contract to purchase a new 2023 Ford F-150 pickup truck from Morrow Brothers Ford in the amount of $40,810 for Public Works Department. 11A4, motion to approve waiving formal bidding procedures utilizing the Sourcewell Purchasing Alliance contract to purchase a new 2023 Ford F-350 dump truck from Viking Sives Midwest in the amount of $78,103 for the Public Works Department. And 11A5, a motion to approve budget amendments as recommended by the Finance Director. So moved on all.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Whitaker?
Aye.
Duco?
Aye.
Harris? Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian?
Aye.
Dintelman? Schaefer? Steele?
Aye.
Rothweiler? Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan?
Aye.
Osthoff? Hazel?
Aye.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Motion for Master Sewer, Mr. Diddleman.
On behalf of the Master Sewer Committee, I'd like to make a motion on 11B1, motion to amend Title V, Public Works, Chapter 50, Sewers, Section 50.023, Sewer Lateral Repair Program, Installation and Connection, as it relates to sewer lateral fees. So moved.
Okay. So we have a second with Mr. Ferguson? Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Duco?
Aye.
Harris? Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian?
Aye.
Dintelman? Schaefer?
Aye.
Steele?
Aye.
Rothweiler? Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan?
Aye.
Osthoff? Hazel?
Aye.
Whitaker?
Aye.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. A motion from administration. This is a motion to approve a contract with S. Schaefer Excavating for demolition of 1234 Centerville Avenue, former Executive Inn, in the amount of $730,000. Thank you, Miss Jenny. Okay, this is subject to the acquisition of property, which we are waiting for that, and approval by the city attorney.
Schaefer, so moved.
Ferguson.
Okay? Any discussion? Okay,
Just thank you for getting this done. Yeah. It's greatly appreciated.
well, we've been working on it. So you cannot believe how happy this makes me. Because I've been wanting it down for probably as long as Cindy, if not longer. So I want to thank you. Yes.
Did I hear some of the acquisition of the property you do not have yet?
We are waiting on
Finalizing a
something.
settlement agreement We're finalizing a settlement agreement associated with the litigation that includes the deed to the property. Which could take, A matter of days. I've had a last communication with them today.
So we are very hopeful that we can start it this week. So, okay.
So we have a motion and a second, so.
Any more discussion? Yes.
We're gonna remove the asbestos from the parking lot as well, are we not?
I will have Cliff answer that question.
Yes, when we did the bid had different alternatives built into it. It was the removal of the building, and then it had an option to remove the parking lot. The parking lot is not really the concern in terms of the asbestos, but the parking lot is included in this number. It will be a seated prep site ready for an RFP once the city takes control of it for future development. What I will say is, and we do recognize the concerns to get it down sooner and later. When we did the bid subject to completing an asbestos survey, which we did follow up once the initial bids came back. That was in the supplementary bid that came in for the asbestos removal. What I can tell you is this contractor has been very responsive. In fact, this contractor has taken it upon themselves to complete the 10-day clearance through the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, which is basically a submitting that report to show what's going to be removed in the scope. Actually, I talked to the contractor. I can meet him as early as in the morning to put the ink on the contract, and he is ready to start that asbestos mitigation in the morning.
Thank you.
Okay. Cindy, with public participation is already over, but if you have a question, you could ask Mr. Cross, not now, but after the meeting or whenever. If you're planning on leaving the meeting early, I'm sure he would spend some time to answer your question. Thank you. Thank you, Cliff. Okay, motion. Oh, we have to do the roll call on this.
Eris?
Aye.
Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian?
Aye.
Dintelman? Schaefer?
Aye.
Steele?
Aye.
Rothweiler? Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan?
Aye.
Osthoff?
Aye.
Hazel?
Aye.
Whitaker?
Aye.
Duco?
Aye.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Thank you all so very much. Okay, motion from Economic Development and Annexation Committee, Alderman Randall.
Thank you, Mayor. 11D1, motion to approve a development agreement with George Renner and Sons Funeral Home Incorporated for construction at 201 North High Street. So moved.
Duco.
Okay. Any discussion?
I would
Yes.
like to know how many people will be certified by the EPA to work in the crematory.
I'm going to have Cliff answer questions.
So it's my understanding they will continue with the same staff that's there. I think it was 3 that came out, but I can't be 100% certain on that number. But I do know that question came up on whether it be an increase in jobs. And obviously with the crematoriums, they are regulated by a higher power such as the state. The question also did come up on contamination. And as we all know, sometimes they burn a little hotter and create a little more smoke. So that was a concern that came up, and those issues were addressed as part of that discussion. I also can tell you this has still got to go through site plan approval, so this will not be the last time you see this. You will have some say in terms of how it operates, I think, with that site plan in terms of ensuring it meets the requirements of the IEP.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call.
Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Dintelman. Schaefer. Steele. Rothweiler. Elmore. Weigant. Sullivan. Ostoff. Hazel.
Aye.
Whitaker.
Aye.
Duco. Aris. Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, now we need a motion from the Planning Commission. Mr. Diddleman?
I'd like to make a motion from the Planning Commission on 11E1, Aldi Development. The site plan approval for the construction of an approximate 20,696 square foot Aldi grocery store with 111 on-site parking spaces on an approximate 217,863 square foot lot within a proposed C2 heavy commercial district. Parcel number 08-24.0-200-200-012, Ward 7 upon annexation. Planning Commission recommended approval with a vote of 8 to 0. So moved.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Dintelman.
Aye.
Schaefer. Steele. Rothweiler. Elmore. Weigant. Sullivan. Ostoff. Hazel. Whitaker.
Aye.
Duco. Aris. Randall.
Aye.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, now we need motions from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Jenny?
Together, do I need to separate anything?
Please separate 11F7,
11F7.
58.
Okay. The rest I can read? Okay. 11F1, 51 November 22. Antronisha Robinson requests for a special use permit to establish and operate an event center at 1652 Lebanon Avenue, 08140-105-023, located in a C2 heavy commercial district, applicable sections of the zoning code 162.248, 162.515. Ward 1, Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F2, 52 November 22, Valerie Seals, request for a special use permit to establish and operate an event center at 6500 West Main Street, Building 3, 07120-210-041, located in the C2 Heavy Commercial District, applicable sections of the zoning code 162.248 and 162.515, Ward 8, Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F3, 53 November 22, Marjorie Yancey, request for a special use permit to establish and operate an event center at 1680 Lebanon Avenue, 08140-105-023, located in a C2 heavy commercial district, applicable sections of the zoning code 162.248, 162.515, Ward 1, Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F4, 54 November 22, Marjorie Yancey, request for a special use permit for outdoor dining seating at 1680 Lebanon Avenue, 08140-105-023, located in C2 Heavy Commercial District, applicable sections of the zoning code 162.248, 162.515, Ward 1. Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F5, 56 December 22, Mayur Patel, request for a special use permit to operate a convenience store at 1805 North Belt West, 0808-0415-007, located in the C2 Heavy Commercial District, applicable sections of the zoning code 162.248, 162.515, Ward 3, Zoning Board of Appeals, recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F6, 57 December 22, Pearls of Power Foundation Incorporated, request for a use variance to establish and operate an operational campus and meeting center at 1419 North 17th Street, 08170407054, located in an A2 two-family residence district, applicable sections of the zoning code 162.590, 162.168, 162.570, Ward 3, Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F8, 59 December 22, United Inc., Tim Meisner, request for a sign installation permit in the area of special control at 223 East Main Street, 08220-334-034, located in the C2 Heavy Commercial District, applicable sections of the zoning code 155.052, 155.053, 155.090, Ward 2. Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F9, 60 December 22, Mayur Patel, request for a special use permit for a liquor license at 1805 North Belt West, 08080-415007, located in C2 Heavy Commercial District, applicable section of the zoning code 162.248, 162.515, Ward 3, Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5 to 0. 11F10, 61 December 22, City of Belleville zoning code amendment, Request for amendments of Title 15 Land Usage of the Revised Ordinance of the City of Belleville, Illinois, Section 162.503, Schedule of Fees. Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with a vote of 5-0.
Barry,
Okay.
so moved. Baker, second.
Any discussion? Yes.
I just want to say that I attended both zoning board meetings, and I know Alderman Whitaker attended one as well, about the event centers. And some of the zoning board members had great questions about them. My concern is that instead of calling these event centers, they are really like rental party rooms. And I think at this point, as a council, for me, the way these businesses are establishing, they don't have a liquor license. I don't really have a satisfactory answer on how we are going as a city to recoup any sales tax from them. I have some issues with just the businesses that we have now that have event centers or party rooms. These new businesses coming in are not being regulated in the same way. And I know we have some in Ward 8 and we have some in Ward 4, and I want to see new businesses come into the city, and I want to see women-owned businesses come into the city. But I don't know, to me, we have the same problem that we have with the Airbnbs, with regulating them. I don't want to give, for me personally, these business owners, you know, tell them that they can operate and then have to come back and tell them, oh, we have all these other things that now you have to meet. So to me, that's not fair. So sitting in the zoning board meeting, there were a lot of questions, and I still have concerns. So I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay. Any more discussions? Yes.
Just to kind of add on to what Alderwoman Ostoff said, one of the big concerns that I had there that we talked about, and is actually noted in the zoning board of approvals tonight, was several of these were planning on kind of like a bring your own alcohol type to the event with no regulation. They could bring whatever they want, consume whatever they wanted on the property, like they were coming to a private residence. So one of the things we asked and the zoning board did put in their stipulations is that the premises must remain alcohol-free pending any changing in the zoning ordinance or a application for a liquor license. So I would agree with Alderwoman Ostoff. As we move forward with these, there needs to be clear guidelines set forth on how we're going to continue, because just as we've done with Airbnbs, they're gonna continue to come forward. So they've given us what we've asked for in the zoning as far as their stipulations, but we shouldn't have to keep going in and add certain stipulations on each one on a case-by-case basis. We need to develop some firmer guidelines for how we're gonna handle the ones that come in the future.
I agree. Only one of the applicants in her initial application even said she was going to apply for a liquor license. And that was the last meeting that Alderman Whitaker wasn't even at. So I just have real concerns with, you know, it's not an event center in the traditional Fishers, Alberts, you know, so it's a misnomer to me to even call them event centers. I don't know if we need to change that wording. I don't know if it would help, you know, rental party room. I don't know. But to me, it becomes an issue of, this is obviously a business model that keeps coming up, so we have to figure out as a council and as a city how we're gonna address it, because it's gonna keep happening.
Mayor,
Alderman Steele?
didn't we already have problems at the Bellevue Park Plaza where Mallows Bakery was, where she bought that and had kind of a boutique, a hair braiding place, and then she came to us and asked us for if she could have liquor, a lounge there also?
Right, but it wasn't an issue. That was all.
But I mean, I think we've already been through all that.
Correct. It has come up before during one of
What
our
I don't wanna see
meetings.
happen is, you know, the police can't go in there and monitor, you know, they're not gonna babysit who's bringing alcohol in, you know. I just think it needs to be a little more clearly defined for the applicants that want to run this type of business, what we require. So that's just my 2 cents. I said it's zoning to educate myself.
Oh, Mr. Hazel?
Yeah, well, I would suggest that we send that to ordinance and for legal review. Based off of our current ordinances, this is an approved occupancy. And so I would call for a vote, but I'd also just bring it to your attention, though, that we had locavores on East Main that was a bring your own also. And I'm not aware of having any issues on that business, but that was a restaurant, not an event center. And so I do agree that as a council, we do need to come up with something to regulate these businesses, but this isn't the place for it.
Ralphie?
We just recently closed Spot on the Hill because they were bringing in their own liquor and they were paying for setups. You can't control this. Event centers are set up, either they're going to get a liquor license or they're going to work it a different way. And I don't know how in the world we're going to go ahead and justify letting it happen where they can run willy-nilly. We've got to come up with a plan if we're going to allow it. If not, we don't need it.
Mr. Cross, our economic developer?
So, those concerns were brought up during both ZBA meetings. I'm gonna give you a little background on how we got here and why. Event centers, I understand they've become very popular. At one point, they were actually identified as a permitted use by right in those particular zoning districts. So the attempt was to further regulate them. And we did an amendment maybe 3 months ago, if you remember, where it then required to have a special use permit. Because if you remember, one of my critiques of your zoning ordinance that we're working on is service establishments and then amusement, entertainment, whatever it may be, they're all grouped into an individual use, which makes them eligible to apply for that special use permit, or in the past they were permitted by right. I agree with you 100%. I don't want to be the alcohol policing police at 11 o'clock at night from a zoning standpoint. I'm sure Chief Eiskamp doesn't want to have his folks doing it as well. The answer is, if you want to take it to an ordinance committee meeting, you can do that. I would recommend that you, if you want to adopt those supplementary regulations, we do it as part of a bigger study and actually amend the zoning ordinance so we have land use control before they come in for a business license. And I think the way to do that is to further evaluate it and see if there needs to be the separation between them, so you limit the number. I'll tell you, event centers where they become popular more in your rural communities, and now they're kind of bleeding into the urban communities. I mean, you go out in the county, they host weddings in barns. It's a beautiful setting, and it's 5 acres, and a lot of county ordinances regulate it by minimum lot sizes. Maybe we look at that option and say you have to be in a standalone building. There were concerns that one of the, or two of these were in the same building. Then the other issue becomes outdoor operations. Well, how do you stop that? People are going outside to smoke. It's just, and who's going to regulate that? So I guess what I'm saying is if we need to define them, I think you want to use caution in approving these. There's nothing wrong with kicking them back. I know the applicants are not going to like to hear that, but you have that option to kick it back, to have your ZBA, for any recommendation they do and bring back to you, they've created supplementary regulations that you will adopt. In a sense, you're creating a moratorium until you adopt those supplementary regulations. That's an option you have as well. And like I said, I know the applicants probably are not going to like to hear that, but I have to present all the options to you. So just some food for thought on how we got here and some options you have.
Okay, Phil had his hand up
I think
first.
Alderman Hazel said that's not all here for the breakdown tonight, but very quickly, since I'm right in the middle of this personally. First off, the person who has reserved the space has to check in alcohol 2 hours prior. Secondly, you don't just walk in as a guest and either do that with a bottle of alcohol of any kind. It's not allowed. Thirdly, the person who's on the contract for the event space has to have their own liquor liability insurance. That's how it gets regulated generally in wedding event spaces.
That's true, and actually the recommendations, so basically what these three are facing at this time is the recommendation that was presented to you says there can be no alcohol on the premises until they obtain a liquor license through another special use permit. But is that going to regulate it? I mean, you still have the true real world issue of who's watching it at Friday night.
And the property owner is responsible for the bartenders. You don't get to say, I'm going to throw a party here and supply bartenders. XYZ Event Center supplies the bartenders. The person who's renting the space can bring their alcohol, checking it in prior to the event, and that's it.
Okay, Mr. Hazel?
Okay. Yeah, and Clifford, one way that some places do it is to have a catering company that does hold a liquor license come in, and that they can actually sell containers of alcohol, small. But what I wouldn't want to do, and what we have to be careful, is that when we have a park in town that does allow alcohol in the park, we wouldn't want any ordinance for a gathering to fall under that same ordinance as an event center. We wouldn't want to infringe on the citizens' rights to have a cooler full of beer at a park if there's liquor allowed there. So we would just have to be careful in how, what that ordinance would, unintended consequences.
And if on these, you're gonna allow a caterer to be responsible, so to speak, for the serving of the alcohol, you would need to amend that to the advisory report, because the advisory report did not say they could use a caterer, it said no alcohol on the premises, so I would make sure you reflect that if that's the option you choose.
Mr. Obian?
In what we're voting on this evening?
Yes,
What
sir.
I would like to know is who's gonna go ahead and provide the dram shop coverage? If there's gonna be liquor anywhere on the premises, somebody's gotta provide dram shop for liability coverage. Who will that be?
Well, that would be, you could put that in your recommendation, but ultimately, that's on the catering company or whoever has it under the umbrella of their individual liquor license.
I mean, Illinois is unique.
And-
We're the
and
only
now-
state to my
but
knowledge.
That said, each individual property owner and tenant probably needs to have their own business coverage as well, because I don't need to be drinking alcohol to break my ankle sometimes, you know, that sort of scenario. So, but the short answer is, the holder of the liquor license should provide that insurance coverage.
I'm thinking these need to be tabled.
Yeah, taken to
Because they
zoning.
need to be taken back to zoning and get clarification. I know, I don't wanna do that to the owners, I think that's, but if we're unclear and we're voting on something, I think it needs to be clear.
Well, I think we're not ready to vote on it as written.
No.
Mr. Wagon?
Yeah, besides that, who controls, bringing alcohol, underage kids, and, drinking, underage?
That's goes back to, I don't wanna be the Friday night call trying to police that, because if I go out there, I got no authority.
So
And
if the person, they have to have a liquor license, they would be able to control that, where they ain't bringing, kids are bringing alcohol and drinking underage.
very true.
Mr. Whitaker?
So the way it's currently written in what we would be voting on tonight is that there shall be no alcohol on the premises until a special use permit for a liquor license is obtained or ordinance amendments allowing for the off-site caterers to provide alcohol. Would those caterers not have to apply for a special use permit to
They don't need a special use permit, they need a caterer's liquor license.
but does that still not have to go through zoning?
No.
No.
No, that goes through the
It would be
local
like
liquor
Royal
commission,
Catering.
which is the mayor.
They have a catering liquor license through us. They're able to go to any facility and serve
Yeah.
alcohol based on that license now.
That's exactly right, but bear in mind, so, now, I always think on both sides of the box. You have in your zoning ordinance, in the commercially zoned districts, that requirement that if I own it, and I'm a bar owner or a restaurant, I have to get that special use permit for a liquor license. The question becomes, if I just bring in a caterer, am I skirting the intent of the zoning ordinance? Because now I got liquor on a premises where I've never got a special use permit. Those are things that probably need to be vetted as part of any amendment.
Yes.
This is why, as chairman of the ordinance and legal, I would like to not vote on this tonight so that we can go through zoning again and the ordinance and change that, because this has come up several times. And now that we have the cannabis in place too, I think we need to get some ordinances in place, because we'll have the alcohol, we'll have the cannabis, and we need an ordinance for some of these new types of events.
Okay. Well, we have a motion that would have to be amended.
So right now, we have a motion to approve all of those that I read. Alderwoman Harris made the motion, Alderwoman Schaefer seconded it. If you want to amend it, those are the two that need to amend it, and you need to tell me how you want to amend it.
Okay, I'd like to amend it.
Alderwoman Harris actually made the motion. So, the way I understand it, you want to amend it, you want me 51 November 22, 52 November 22, and 53 November 22. You want to vote to table those.
Case 51 does not have anything to do with alcohol? Is that what I heard from all the way here? It does not?
It's just in the advisory report that what Alderman Whitaker read is in all three of those advisory reports about the alcohol. It says there shall be no alcohol on the premises until an additional special use permit for a liquor license is obtained or ordinance amendments allowing for off-site caterers. That's on all three of those advisory reports, besides in the name of the applicant only.
So the way that I understand that is that we're okay voting on this now because it's still subject to the possible change.
Right.
Yeah, so let's move this through, but the issue should go back to your committee,
Yes, that's right.
because we may have more come to.
Yes, right. Good idea. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so the motion stands for me for 11F1, 11F2, 11F3, 11F4, 11F5, 11F6, 11F8, 11F9, 11F10.
Yes.
Yep. Here's- Correct.
Yeah, everything but seven.
Right, they asked for it to be read together.
Yeah, just,
I don't think any.
Any discussion on any more of these motions before we go on? Okay. Okay.
Anthony,
Aye.
Ovian,
No.
Dintelman,
No.
Schaefer,
Aye.
Steele,
Aye.
Rothweiler, Elmore, Wygant, Sullivan, Ostoff, Hazel,
aye.
Whitaker,
Aye.
Duco, Harris, Randall,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
I have 12-4, motion carries.
Okay. We will now
Okay,
move
so I
on.
will read,
11F7.
11F7, 58 December 22. Dionisio Alvarez requests for a special use permit to establish and operate a landscaping business with limited outdoor storage at 409 Carlisle Avenue, 08230-303-168, located in a C2 heavy commercial district. Applicable sections of the zoning code, 162.248, 162.515, Ward 7. Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval in the name of the applicant only with a vote of 5-0.
Okay.
We're going to second with amendment.
Any discussion?
Yes. So, Mr. Alvarez basically opened up this property, bought the property, and opened it up, started doing construction on it without ever talking to the city. He didn't know he had to, there was a communication gap, and by the time we got to, send the proper paperwork through, he had already tore apart the property and started setting it up as a landscaping business. It's not a problem. The property is right next to a Baldwin, it's an oil change, Orchard Drive, and then Walgreens. That's, all looks very commercial. What you don't see is behind it is basically a horseshoe of residential. The residential people already started asking, why is this going up? Why didn't we, communicate it? We started communicating with them, got this guy into housing, got him set up, put his paperwork, got to zoning. But again, he's already cut out this property and he's ready to start rolling. So, the neighbors are now like, well, he's already up and running, I guess that's okay. They have accepted it, but they're worried about early morning noise and late evening noise. So my amendment would be, after visiting with Cliff, that the amendment is that he is not permitted to start up any machinery or trucks prior to 8 AM and after 6 PM. And Cliff said that was perfectly within our right to put in his application, his permit.
Give me those hours again, 8 AM
Not
to,
prior to 8 AM, not after 6 PM.
okay.
He has residential around it, trucks, backing up, back rows, firing up, and there's storage issues and things like that. But zoning's covered all that part, it's just hours.
Alderwoman Ayers, are you amenable to that amendment?
Yes, Mr. Dillman?
All those guys like to start early in the summertime, get out and eat, more like 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I'm not sure the community's gonna go for that. That's my.
I based it prior to, I asked Jason what time our city sanitation trucks will roll at 7. So, I
Okay, Ms. Nora?
I believe our residential quiet hours begin at 7, so why wouldn't we just apply that in this situation as well?
we can do 7, we can do 7. 7 is fine.
7 PM, not 7 AM.
No,
7
not
a.m.
prior to
7
7
a.m.
AM,
Okay.
not after 6 PM.
That's our, that's
Okay.
what I was gonna say, because that's ours,
Mr. Hazel?
the golf course.
We have other businesses in town similar to this, and limited storage usually ends up being worse than limited storage. And I've seen this property, and I'm not a fan of what he's got going on there now, especially, I've not talked to the neighbors, not my ward, but I can imagine if that popped up. And I'm sorry that he didn't think to come to the city first and get to the base of these issues before he spent money on the property. But I'm just not a fan of what visually this property would end up looking.
To your point, prior to the zoning meeting, I met with the neighbors who initially called me. I should say neighbor, and I explained what was going on in zoning the next evening. And I'm not gonna say everything she said, but the crux of it was, he's already up and running. He's agreed to do the things we got so far, as long as he's not making noise after, before quiet hours, so to speak. And they were so fine with it that they didn't even come to the zoning board. They said, no, we're fine now. He's already there now, let the guy make a living. And that was from the person who initially made the initial complaints.
I have one in my ward that was supposed to be limited storage. And I've got dead vehicles, I've got boats that aren't used, there's a little bit of landscaping stuff there, but there's weeds and trees and
I
Just
believe, I was at that zoning meeting, and communication, he had some people helping him, because as his liaison, English is not his first language, and so, I think he understood, and they talked about storage, they talked about erecting a building. The neighbors were actually concerned also about runoff, but I think maybe it's something that the alderman in that ward visually probably needs to look at, but he seemed to be compliant with everything that the zoning board asked of him in that meeting anyway.
And Cliff did put down some storage parameters for him that are on the record. He's supposed to follow them. If he doesn't, we have housing to go enforce them.
Would you like to speak to any of this?
Sure. So that's the beauty of the special use permit. If he violates it, we just revoke it. So the problem is, and you're absolutely right, you can't see the residential homes or the residentially zoned property that's a U around it. This is actually at the front, but unfortunately it's zone C2. Landscaping businesses themselves are permitted by right. Warehouses are, I believe, permitted in that district. At the very least, they have the ability to apply for a special use permit. The dilemma was in the I-2 district, it talks about warehouses, storage facilities, and then it adds storage yards. And that's not in any other district. So per the use variance, not being allowed, if it is allowed in another district, he didn't even have the option to apply for the use variance. So that's why we indicated landscaping business with limited storage. And what I mean by limited storage, he can park the trailer there, but he's not putting mulch outside. He's not putting landscaping outside. That's been made very, very clear to him, and we will watch him. And if he does that, that will be revoked, and then he will, the special use permit will go away. You do have the right to attach conditions that there's very similar, that there's no loading of materials or the equipment outside. Make him put the barn up and load it inside so you don't hear it. Those are some of your options you can do. But to Alderman Hazel's point, we will, I agree. Experience tells me you give an inch, they take a foot, and they do. But the difference here is you have a special use permit with that condition in there. And if he violates it, we will revoke that special use permit. We had already sent the notice for the illegal use. That's kind of what generated him coming to the office. I think, to your point, he didn't understand he couldn't do it. But, you know, we just want to, we're not going to let him store outside. And that's the other reason why they put the 6-foot privacy fence up as well. That's a condition that's in there as well. So it's a tough call, but it goes back to another point. You're relying on us being the landscaping police, which we don't have a large staff. But yeah, that's where we are with this at this point and how we got to this point tonight. You have a right to add any conditions to your recommendation tonight.
Okay, Mr. Hazel?
You said privacy fence, so he's got a chain link fence up now, so he's gonna slat it?
It was made very, a 6-foot privacy vinyl fence.
Okay. And that's gonna happen.
I don't believe in putting slats up because they rot. In 2 years, they're about half
Well, they
of them
look
gone.
terrible.
And they look terrible. So, exactly.
Any more discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Yeah, we have to vote
Oh,
on that.
we have to vote on the amendment, yes.
So we have to
Sorry.
vote on the amendment, which is no machinery or trucks to start up prior to 7 a.m. nor after 6 p.m.
Correct, thank you.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second, and so I'm going to do roll call. You okay with
Hearing
that?
none, no other discussion, let's do roll call.
Ovian,
Aye.
Dintelman. Schaefer. Steele. Rothweiler. Elmore. Weigant. Sullivan. Ostoff. Hazel. Whitaker. Duco. Harris. Randall.
Aye.
Ferguson. Anthony.
Aye.
Motion carries for the amendment. Now we have to vote on it. Yep. So now I need a motion to approve. Schaefer second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Now, I'm looking to see where I was. Okay, now motion from Police and Fire Committee. Alderman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the Fire and Police Committee,
Can we read them together, Johnny?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask. Is there any objection to reading these together as a group? Thank you. On behalf of the Fire and Police Committee, I'd like to read the following motions. Motion to approve 11G1, motion to approve an increase in police staffing from 72 officers to 74 officers. 11G2, motion to accept a COPS grant, fiscal year 2022 de-escalation award in the amount of $35,000. 11G3, motion to approve the purchase of Street Smart's VR software license contract and core hardware and VR system in the amount of $35,000. 11G4, motion to approve a contract February 1, 2023 through January 31, 2024 with Power DMS Digital Management Software in the amount of $3,960. So moved.
Whitaker, second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Dintelman? Schaefer? Steele? Rothweiler? Elmore? Wygant? Sullivan? Osthoff? Hazel? Whitaker? Duco? Harris? Randall? Ferguson? Anthony? Ovian? Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, we need motions from Board of Fire and Police Commissioners. A motion to approve the promotion of Master Sergeant Rob Rust and Master Sergeant Sean Harris to Lieutenant effective Tuesday, December 20th, 2022 at 12:01 a.m. Okay,
Whitaker, second.
any discussion? Roll call.
Schaefer? Steele? Rothweiler? Elmore? Wygant? Sullivan? Osthoff? Hazel? Whitaker? Duco? Harris? Randall? Ferguson? Anthony? Ovian? Dintelman? Motion carries, Mayor.
And Chief, would you like to recognize?
So Lieutenant Rob Russ and Lieutenant Sean Harris, if you guys want to come up here. Lieutenant Russ has been on the department for around 23, 24 years now. And throughout his career, he's been a patrol officer. He was a detective for many years. Did a great job with detectives. And then we transferred him to the traffic unit where he's been the supervisor over the traffic unit where he's an accident reconstructionist. He reviews all the accident reports and supervised that unit for many years and done a stellar job his whole career. We've kind of grown up in the department together, and it's always been a pleasure working with him. Lieutenant Harris, he also was in patrol and has done many things on the police department. Many years he's been in the administration, and he's ran our fleet, all of our vehicles, all of our equipment, all of our training. He's in charge of that. He's also our range master. He trains us on firearms. He's in charge of our vault. Many things that kind of go unnoticed. You usually see the officers on the street. All the behind the scenes things is Lieutenant Harris, and does a great job. And I'm glad this happened tonight. So thank you guys. And you want to come up here? You want to go by the? Yeah. Well, that was fun. Congratulations again. Okay, I need a motion to hire.
Do you care if we read the next two together for the hires? That's fine.
I need a motion to hire probationary police officer Louis Molina and Andrew Harmon effective Monday, January 2nd, 2023 at 12:01 a.m. And a motion to approve the hire of probationary firefighter Nathaniel Circle effective Monday, February 6th.
Anthony, so moved.
You're not letting me get in the 2023 Mr. Anthony
Hey.
at 12:01 a.m.
Beat these guys.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Steele?
Yes.
Rothweiler? Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan? Osthoff? Hazel? Whitaker? Duco? Harris? Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson? Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian? Dintelman? Schaefer? Motion carries, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, a motion from Streets and Grades and Alderman Randall.
Thank you, Mayor. Folks, is there any objection if I read this one alone?
Okay.
Okay, motion to approve the municipal cost estimate for maintenance fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $2,293,063.84. MFT funds, so moved.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Rothweiler? Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan? Osthoff? Hazel? Whitaker? Duco? Harris? Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson? Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian?
Aye.
Dintelman? Schaefer? Steele?
Aye.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay. Now, Jenny, would you like to read the communications?
Adopt a highway, New Direction Church, request from New Direction Church to adopt a highway within the city limits of Belleville to consist of East Main Street around the north-south church area.
Second? Oh, okay, thank you. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. No petitions this evening. Resolution, I need a motion to read by title only. Resolution 3464, 3465, and 3466.
Schaefer, so moved.
Ferguson.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Jenny?
Can I read them together?
Yes.
14A, Resolution 3464, resolution amending the annual budget of the city of Belleville, Illinois for the fiscal year beginning on the first day of May 2022 and ending on the 30th day of April 2023, line item budget. 14B, Resolution 3465, a resolution amending the annual budget of the city of Belleville, Illinois for the fiscal year beginning on the first day of May 2022 and ending on the 30th day of April 2023, supplemental budget. 14C, Resolution 3466, a resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code.
Schaefer, so moved.
Ferguson.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Elmore? Weigant? Sullivan? Osthoff? Hazel? Whitaker? Duco? Harris? Randall?
Aye.
Ferguson? Anthony?
Aye.
Ovian?
Aye.
Dintelman? Schaefer? Steele?
Aye.
Rothweiler? Motion carries, Mayor.
Thank you. Now, under ordinances, I need a motion to read by title only. Ordinances 9103, 9104, 9105, 9106, 9107, 9108, 919, 9110, 9111, 9112, 9113, 9114, 9115, and 9116.
Schaefer, so moved.
Steele.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Jenny?
Quick question, do you want me to pull out the three that have events, or can I just read them all together, since those passed?
Together, please.
Okay.
Read them, read them.
Ordinance 9103, 2022, an ordinance providing for the annual tax levy upon real estate situated within the corporate limits of the city of Belleville and the county of St. Clair and the state of Illinois, subject to taxation for the fiscal year commencing on the first day of May 2022 and ending on the 30th day of April 2023. 15B, ordinance 9104, 2022, an ordinance abating all taxes hereto levied for the year 2022 to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation bond to the city of Belleville, Illinois. 15C, ordinance 9105, 2022, an ordinance amending Title 5, Public Works, Chapter 50, Sewers, Section 50.023, Sewer Lateral Program, Installation and Connection of the Revised Code of Ordinances of the City of Belleville as amended. 15D, ordinance 9106, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 51, November 22, Anna Trinicia Robinson. 15E, ordinance 9107, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 52, November 22, Valerie Seals. 15F, ordinance 9108, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 53, November 22, Marjorie Yancey. 15G, ordinance 9109, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 54, November 22, Marjorie Yancey. 15H, ordinance 9110, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 56, December 22, Myra Patel. 15I, ordinance 9111, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 57, December 22, Pearls of Power Foundation Incorporated. 15J, ordinance 9112, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 58, December 22, Dionisio Alvarez. 15K, ordinance 9113, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 59, December 22, United Inc., Tim Meisner. 15L, ordinance 9114, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 60, December 22, Meyer Patel. 15M, ordinance 9115, 2022, a zoning ordinance in regards to case 61, December 22, City of Belleville zoning code amendment. 15N, ordinance 9116, 2022, an ordinance improving amendment to the estimated date of completion of redevelopment projects for the downtown south tax increment financing redevelopment project area TIF 8.
Okay. Thank you.
Ferguson.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Weigant. Aye. Sullivan.
Aye.
Osthoff.
Aye.
Hazel.
Aye.
Whitaker.
Aye.
Duco. Harris. Randall.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
No.
Dillman.
Aye.
Schaefer. Steele. Rothweiler. Elmore. Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. We have no unfinished business. So under miscellaneous and new business, I need a motion to approve motor fuel claims in the amount of $80,445.43. Duco. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Osthoff.
Aye.
Hazel.
Aye.
Whitaker.
Aye.
Duco. Harris. Randall.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian. Dillman. Schaefer. Steele. Rothweiler. Elmore. Weigant. Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. I now need a motion to go into executive session to discuss collective negotiation matters, 5 ILCS 120/2C2.
Harrison, wait for a second.
Okay. Oh, Jenny?
Just ask for all in favor.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Opposed?
sorry. I missed that. Okay. Let me get everybody out. Okay, thank you. Okay. You good with me reading the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to approve collective bargaining agreements with laborers local 459, Teamsters Petroleum and Allied Trades local Union 50, drivers and helpers and parks and recreation, maintenance workers and building service employees local 116.
Ferguson.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Osthoff.
Aye.
Hazel.
Aye.
Whitaker.
Aye.
Duco. Harris. Randall.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Ovian.
Aye.
Dillman. Schaefer. Steele.
Aye.
Rothweiler. Elmore. Weigant. Sullivan.
Aye.
Motion's carry, Mayor.
Okay. Now we need, before we adjourn, I'd like to thank all of you and wish all of you a Merry Christmas. And I'm so thrilled that you have worked so well together and also working with me this year. I just want you to know how much I appreciate all of you and all the things that you've done for the city this year. So give yourselves a big round of applause. Now we need a motion to adjourn.
Ferguson.
I need a second.
Ferguson. Whitaker.
All in favor? We were supposed to answer Merry Christmas.
Wow.
Merry Christmas.